Helen. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Puppet Podcast on the road. Unfortunately, we are not on the road, but we are home, each other, because you know what's going on. So let's just introduce my wonderful friend, Helen Day, who will talk with me on this podcast about our beautiful art, who keep everyone connected as puppetry. Hi, dear Ellen, here you are in 2 and 1. Thank
Hi,
you.
my total pleasure. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine actually in this motion of the future, what it will be, but I'm fine. I'm home, so it's easy. I take it easy. You?
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Trying to find the light in this crazy dark time, but I'm finding it, and a lot of people around me are finding it. So that's good.
Great. So let's talk about this art that you and I enjoy as puppetry. So for you, what makes puppetry an art that you cherish?
Oh, there's so much that I think makes puppetry such a special art form. It's so unique in the way it can communicate across cultural divides, across the divides of knowledge, across age divides. There's a really special, unique magic to puppetry. And for something that is, the star of any puppet show is the puppet, not the human, and yet it's such a celebration of humanity somehow. Um,
Uh-huh.
Even when the puppets are not humanoid, even when the puppets are a saucepan creation or a talking cucumber, there's such humanity in the work that yeah, that's really why I think I cherish it so dearly, and so many other people, both audiences and performers, cherish it.
Yeah. And because your background, you start in acting, and after how you crush happened for you?
Well, for me, actually, I'd been working in dance and movement and theatre, and as an actress, and I had a three-hander, three-women theatre company, and we were making and creating stories to tell. And up until that point, I hadn't really encountered puppetry. I obviously knew about puppets. I watched the Muppets as a kid, like everybody. Um, but I was working on a summer school, and I met a puppeteer. And I remember being absolutely fascinated. As soon as he said, "Oh, I'm a puppeteer," I was like, "Do you have puppets in your bag?" And I could see one kind of poking out, and I was like, really drawn to this puppet. Well, I'm not going to indulge the story too much. Me and the puppeteer ended up having a relationship, not for very long. But he left, and when he left me with such a love of puppetry and the stories that puppets can tell that he could go. That's fine. He could go. But he also left me with a puppet, and I was sort of starting to play with this puppet, and I realized how many stories we could tell in the theatre company if we included puppets. That before we
Uh-huh.
thought, oh, well, there's three of us, we're all on stage, and now we need a farmer. Oh no, we can't tell that story. It seems so obvious now to say once you've got puppets involved, it's fine, but we just hadn't had that revelation. And then as soon as we started using puppets to tell stories, the stories just got richer and more interesting, and we got more creative because we didn't feel limited. And then that was kind of the beginning of the love affair, and then since then it's just kind of continued and rolled on, and yeah, grown into a lifelong love.
That's amazing. That's really a story. I was into it. That's amazing. And in your opinion, what will be the best field of study? Like, I know you have not a perfect path, but for you, what makes you a great puppeteer with all of those level of knowledge that you get?
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult question to answer because I meet puppeteers that have come to puppetry from so many different backgrounds. I mean, the obvious one
Yeah.
is you have people who are not from any kind of performing background who have come into it through making, who end up being brilliant puppetry performers. And then, you know, you have so many actors that come to it. I think first of all, it's the love of the puppet. I teach puppetry, and I feel like I can tell by the way someone's eyes light up when the puppet comes out of the bag whether they're going to be able to be a puppeteer. Because if they see that puppet and they see potential and they see life, I think 9 times out of 10 they're going to be able to puppeteer it. Yeah, you can then hone the skills and kind of fine tune, you know, or fine tune them. But I think it's the love that comes first. And then I guess if someone was saying, well, look, yeah, I do love puppets, what shall I do? I would advise them to study acting, because so often you're taking on the character of the puppet. And I'd also advise them to study movement in some form, whether that's dance or whether that's, you know, other forms of movement. I think more and more puppetry isn't sort of the puppeteers hidden and the puppets on display. More and more we see the puppeteer, and it's so important to be able to move, live, and breathe with the puppet, beside the puppet, in full view of the audience. So I guess if someone was asking me, I love puppets, but I don't know what to do, I'd say, well, study those areas. But at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if someone says they've come through from something completely different and they just love puppets and they just happen to be brilliant.
Yeah, the cliche, but like you have the cliche. We kind of fight a bit at some point, but when they see the puppet and the puppeteer, they just understand what's going on the story.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
on Toruk, he was like working really. The audience was seeing everyone
You
doing
were
their job.
fully visible. Yeah. I mean, there were two of the puppets that we were inside, but you could still see our bodies, so that movement quality was still really important. And then other puppets where we were fully on display as puppeteers. So yeah, having that kind of movement vocabulary and an ability to move and change up the movement, I think it's growing more and more important in the puppetry world, as puppetry develops and grows. So.
Yeah, yes. And like I always ask this because it's hard to define what we are doing. But for you, how you define, like when someone asking, what is a puppet? Like your own definition about a puppet.
I mean, I usually say it's anything potentially inanimate that we manipulate and give life to and breathe animation into. I mean, then I guess there's the question of, well, is taking objects and putting them together, object manipulation, is that a puppet? Well, to me, it is. If we believe it as a life form, then I believe that is a puppet. You know, I mean, it's interesting to me how many interpretations people have. You know, when you say, "Oh, I'm a puppeteer," and very few people just go, "Oh yeah." Most people are like, "What? I don't. What is that? Like, what is a puppet?" And then often you say, "Well, Muppets." Okay, I get that. And some people have asked me, "Oh, so it's you always climb inside it?" I'm like, no, you sometimes climb inside it. Or some people assume that it's all marionettes, you know, the stringed marionettes. Well, yes, that is a puppet, but that's not all puppets. So yeah, I try and define it like that, just by saying it's anything we take and pick up and breathe life into, and that we want you to believe that this being has a soul.
Yes. Yes. Often me, I go into like it's really spiritual. It's to bring the breathing, to bring some impulsion. I love your definition. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I think the soul idea is something that I've really grown to kind of enjoy, because if my understanding of something having a soul is that life force. And that doesn't mean it has a brain and it's humanoid or it's necessarily going to speak, but it's engaged with the world in a particular way. And I think that's, to take it right back, that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to kind of pick up this thing or inhabit this thing and have it have a relationship to the world, however nuanced, however tenuous.
Yeah, to breathe together when you work in a team also. It's really important. I like that. And do you think puppetry is, like we said, is sexy, like is in an ascension, or you think it's getting less popular? I know now we have kind of a situation, but
We have a
in your
situation
viewpoint.
right now. But I think the last kind of 10 years, I've just seen puppetry exploding. I think there's been, there's been certain marker points that have just given different audiences access to puppetry and have given